What's going on, y'all? It's BHill, and I'm tired AF. Welcome to the podcast, y'all. This is not the traditional intro podcast. I promise in upcoming episodes, I have more of an intro to me, the vision of this podcast, etc., etc., all those things. So, let me just put out there. Subscribe and let's vibe. Share. Show how much you care. I'm compelled to start here. To start at I'm tired AF. And moreover, I'm tired and I have no place to rest. I'm tired and I have no place to rest. You ever have those times where you're tired, exhausted, and there's no rest? There's no opportunity to rest. You may lay down and get no rest. Or there's a level of so much exhaustion that you physically can't rest. I often sit and I'm surrounded by my experience of having no place to rest in this country. As a black person that sits at the intersection of experiencing acts of oppression, anti-black policing, racial profiling, homophobia, discrimination of someone who does not identify in the gender binary, misogyny, patriarchy, paternalism, sexism, racism, and the overall sickness of ignorance and inflated ego. And it's sad to say, the list goes on, y'all. I've been undertreated when engaging in the healthcare system. I've been mistreated when engaging in the healthcare system. Expected to perform in jobs that meet the standards of those white supremacy cultural norms, receiving no recognition for my hard work, and still being seen as an employee that's non-performing because I don't exude buying into whiteness. And what those supposedly fruits of labor look like of buying into whiteness. I want to explore those more in future episodes. And staying centered in what I'm feeling right now. As I highlight these levels of oppression, aggression, marginalization, inequity, and disparity, when I want to seek refuge, what I need you to see is I have no place to rest. And so many black people have no place to rest. This is and always has been a state of emergency regarding the injustices endured by black people. All Black Lives Matter. Tony McDade matters. Nina Pop matters. Sean Reed matters. George Floyd matters. Breonna Taylor matters. Ahmaud Arbery matters. If we think about the most recent accounts of atrocities. Plus, in addition to those black people, millions more of black lives have been taken. Yeah, millions. 'Cause slavery. Slavery, rape, kidnapping, racism, torture, hate. The pragmatic pillars of this country. Pushing the oppressed to protest. 2020 opened the floodgates, and white America has to own that. 2020 is truly the year of clear vision. A complete, unobstructed view of all that is wrong with society as it's existing, and it has existed. Yeah, we were too ready to scream new levels, living my best life. Hell, I even have a video with that song. Best year yet on social media. In 2020 was like, nah, son, ain't no best life with the consistent destruction of black lives. Ain't gonna be no best lives with the consistent destruction of black lives. All black lives matter. Why do I keep emphasizing that? I emphasize it not to diminish and deter from the fact that black men are targeted, are at high risk of police brutality, unjust death, disproportionate rates of incarceration and criminal charges, bias, discrimination, and prejudiced experiences. It is absolutely true. I emphasize all Black Lives Matter because black women, Sandra Bland, are targeted, are at high risk of police brutality, unjust death, disproportionate rates of incarceration and criminal charges, bias, discrimination, and prejudiced experiences. All Black Lives Matter because black trans men, Tony McDade, are targeted at high risk of police brutality, unjust death, disproportionate rates of incarceration and criminal charges, bias, discrimination, and prejudice experiences. All Black Lives Matter because black trans women, Nina Pop, are targeted at high risk of police brutality, unjust death, disproportionate rates of incarceration and criminal charges, bias, discrimination, and prejudiced experiences. All Black Lives Matter because black cisgender women who are queer and masculine presenting, Brittany Cosby, are targeted, are at high risk of police brutality, unjust death, disproportionate rates of incarceration and criminal charges, bias, discrimination, and prejudiced experiences. All Black Lives Matter because black cisgender women who are queer and femme, Crystal Jackson, are targeted, are at high risk of police brutality, unjust death, disproportionate rates of incarceration and criminal charges, bias, discrimination, and prejudice experiences. And some of y'all gonna have some issues with those I just named once you do your research, and that's for further conversation. Black, non-binary folks who are non-conforming, BHill, are targeted, are at high risk of police brutality, unjust death, disproportionate rates of incarceration and criminal charges, bias, discrimination, and prejudiced experiences. It is absolutely true. I say these names in hopes that as the horrific death of George Floyd at the hands of the 4 Minneapolis police officers has caused us to be enraged, fed up, and tired AF, that we recognize the untold stories of those that exist in a space of invisibility and erasure, that lack the public outcry, and we use this time to elevate all black experiences in existence and recognize that all black people are experiencing the disproportionate mistreatment and death at the hands of racism by its police, racism by its co-workers, racism by its neighborhood wannabe vigilantes, racism by its park users, racism by its store employees, racism by its I just came across you and don't even know you. And as a white man, I feel I got the privilege and power to take your life because you are playing your music too loud in a convenience store parking lot. And it takes me back to one of my first questions of who called the police on Mr. Floyd in the first place. I mean, I know it's a pandemic in their economic hardships and hard times. Alleged forgery or alleged counterfeit $20 bill. The police were called. Did Mr. Floyd even know this was counterfeit money? And again, you call the police on the man for that? And maybe there have been more details that I am not knowledgeable about that have come out within the past week that gives more explanation. But I still go back to this question. So Mr. Floyd has ignited us into action. I say, yes, let this momentum fold in and raise up the experiences and unjust taking of our Black women, Black men, Black trans men, Black trans women, Black cisgender women who are queer and masculine presenting, Black cis women who are queer and femme, and our Black non-binary family. And as I close this episode out, I'm going to say I'm not giving any action steps today. I'm just getting out these raw emotions that I've been led to share. But I want to really elevate. I don't need to always share action steps. I'm creating this platform to share my experiences and what's on my mind. It is each of our personal responsibility to do the work, to move in the positive direction that we need to go. To recognize systemic shifts, we need sweeping behavioral, policy, and procedural and ideological change. I hope you join me as we go more in depth of the topics brought up today and many more as we explore being tired AF. And let me say this also. I'm expressing myself in a way that's authentic to me in my existence. I'm not interested in being in any type of platform, in any type of existence of how you have an expectation for me to be. I'm going to be BHill and express what it is for me to be Black in America. What I'm confident in is that y'all know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, there's always Google. And Google, you can sponsor me. Again, my people, subscribe and let's vibe, share, and show you care. It's BHill, and I'm tired AF. Talk to you next Monday.